Hello everyone, happy Saturday, happy new season, welcome to St Mary's. There it is. I do have a train to catch and I might not be so long, he says, but welcome, happy new season and all of those things. It has finished here, 8-goal thriller and a very fun afternoon. So hopefully the sound is okay. Yes, they are currently mowing the pitch. That might kick in. Yes, I have no idea the strength of the signal here. My phone is a 5G phone. We'll see how that goes, but it's not my fault if the sound sounds rubbish or if the signal is not working either. So there we go. Lovely to be here. I am going to do housekeeping straight away this time, just to avoid any of that shenanigans. I did put up a little thread on Twitter during the week, and we did address this situation on the On The Ball podcast 2 weeks ago, in our one before the start of the season. Feels like I should probably do it again now. Obviously different audiences, whatever. I will not be doing every Norwich City game this season. I will be covering the football club and keeping a very close eye on the small stories and the big stories, definitely the big stories. And I will be watching all of the games at some point. I have seen the full 90 minutes from Hull, but I won't necessarily be at every game. I won't necessarily, and in fact, it's highly unlikely I will be doing video verdicts on every game because I won't be at them. I might do them during the weeks, but basically, I'm sorry to say, don't rely on getting these at the end of every game because you won't. And I know that will be disappointing to some of you, and I apologize, but I'll do my best and I'll do them when I can. And hopefully that will be enough for you to check in and enjoy them when I do them. And of course, if you want one from every game, well, there's Connor doing his, and he'll be at every game, I imagine. So you can always listen to Connor to get your immediate fix, and then you can catch mine when I do them. I hope that's okay. That is the reality of the situation. I've got a few other things that I'm doing, like the daily football briefing, podcast occasionally, and other stories I'm writing for wider football. So bear with. But, you know, it's all good. It's all good. Everything's fine. And Norwich are fine. This one, I brief summary of the whole game. I thought Norwich were very good in that first half. I thought they kind of very bang out. Well, it just said the signal went out. So, yes, can't remember what I was up to there when it kicked out. But yes, I thought Norwich were good in the first half. I'm talking about a different game here, but Norwich were good in the first half against Hull. Should have won the game in the first half, really. Second half meandered. Won it late on, which obviously helps with the feeling. It's a wonderful moment at the end. But, you know, it was kind of tired a little bit, I thought, and maybe lost their way slightly. But great to start off with a win, obviously. But context, it was a team they beat 3-1 last season. Where do we go? Now, that is important context because we weren't sure really what we were going to get today. And I thought Norwich, for a lot of this game, were fabulous. I thought they were really good in transition, really good at getting bodies forward, breaking forward with the ball, and having numbers in attack. They created some fantastic opportunities. I previously worried about whether this team has the goals in them. Well, keep playing at this level, and they definitely do have the goals in them. I know that sounds like an obvious thing to say when they've scored 4 away from home, but you can see in the patterns of the play that there's a sort of a sharpness there. Sustaining that is obviously tricky. Gabriel Sara has scored a worldie of a goal. It's a brilliant goal. You're not going to rely on those. Johnny Rowe has made a fantastic start to the season. He's got 2 goals in 2 games, both very different goals, and he was left completely unmarked in the penalty box. But a fantastic header to put Norwich 3-2 ahead. Gabby's goal was very important, actually, because it came just after Norwich had conceded 2 in 4 minutes to go 2-1 down, having already led. So both key moments. But, you know, Johnny Rowe doing that is fantastic. He's a young player. It's his first season. I don't think there's any sport in the world where a young player breaks through and can sustain a really high impact level of performance all the way through their first season. They can do, but it's very rare. So, but that's great. So what I'm saying is there's loads of really great encouragement in this Norwich team. And as the season goes on, we can work out what it is capable of. But of course, at the moment, it's just hugely encouraging. And having again be someone who has been a little bit suspect about whether this team can actually improve on what the team last season did. I look at it in the moment and think, no, I think they're definitely capable of that, because I can see Jack Stacey. I've seen a bit of debate, people sort of going, obviously he's not a better player than Max Aarons. Well, it's a fair point, but what I will say is the way that how productive Jack Stacey is in the final third is incredibly different to Max Aarons. And again, his crosses are of really good quality. I don't think Norwich have really had a fullback able to cross the ball like that for a while. And that was what created the first goal, scored by Josh Sargent, which helps because it sets the game up in the right way. There is a real robustness. I thought Josh Sargent was full of running and energy. And Gabby Sarah is doing some wonderful things. It's great to see that he's carried on the way he left off last season. There are issues. I think the penalty that Shane Duffy conceded for handball was fairly ridiculous. And I think what was interesting is that when Southampton scored their goals, generally about a few minutes after Norwich's level noticeably dropped. And I actually thought Norwich tired and got very deep in the second half when Southampton, I think, I couldn't keep track of it, but I think Southampton had just equalised. It was 3-3. And it did look like Southampton would then go on to win the game because Norwich were getting deeper. They were not really getting much of an outlet, and they were looking a bit tired and sloppy, which is a bit worried because it was only 60 minutes gone, but they hadn't had that much of the ball, so maybe it was understandable. But Will Smallbone picked up an injury. He went off, but that short period, there was a break in play. Then he was off the pitch, so Southampton were down to 10. Then they make a silly mistake in defence, and that's where Christian Fasnacher then put Norwich 4-3 up. And so Norwich kind of benefited from that, is what I'm saying, because actually they did look like they were tiring in a lot of that second half, I thought. That's understandable, though. It's early days. Southampton are a very good side. They will definitely push the promotion spots, as you would expect any relegated team from the Premier League should do from the off. Southampton have got lots of growing to do under Russell Martin. I think Russ is a brilliantly empathetic and cracking man manager, but he's also a good coach. Every team he has coached, he has made them better over the time. Now, what he's got here is, of course, a job where he kind of needs to do that, but quickly, and whilst managing a lot of change when the expectation is this team goes up. So it's a really difficult job, but he's got a great set of resources here, and it will challenge him. And I do wish him loads of success. And I think there's going to be a bit of battling here with the hangover of relegation and also just the patience of that happening. But I hope there's enough good signs that he can keep building off that. Che Adams hasn't been starting, but he has clearly got a bit about him, and it's a great player to bring on. And I thought he took his goal really well, which of course leveled things up. A couple of other issues. David Wagner wasn't happy that the goal that would have put Norwich, I've lost track now, 5-3 up? It might have been, or was it 4-3 before they went 4-3 up? It was flagged for offside because Ashley Barnes was offside when Sarah took his free kick. There was then a save and then a cutback. I'd have to double check the rules here, because to me, obviously, if the ball goes straight back to Barnes and he scores, then yes, he's definitely offside. But if the ball goes to another player and then it's crossed back and he's in an onside position, then yeah, you're right. I feel like that is a second phase and therefore shouldn't be flagged offside because it didn't really affect the free kick. But, we are in the Championship. And, of course, Norwich only drew this game rather than win it because Dimi Yanulis gave away a penalty on Walker Peters in the dying seconds. Lots of people very keen to tell me on Twitter it's not a penalty. What game are you watching? You're an idiot, which is obviously the sort of exchange I love. And you're wrong. Sorry. It's soft. It's soft. He could not have given it. Mr. Darren England of the refereeing world. But Walker Peters was the wrong side of Dimi. Dimi just comes in too hard. The different replays make it look more of a penalty than others. It is soft. You could have said Norwich would have got away with one had he not have given it, and people probably wouldn't have really protested much. It's not Max Aarons getting completely taken out against Wigan at the start of last season. But the fact it was given, You can't look at any. So people sending me replays. You can't look at the replay and go, "Oh no, definitely not a penalty." It's soft. He might have slightly, been going down already. He obviously wants to go down, but Dimmy has to not go into the back of him to then to do it. I'm not even sure VAR would have overturned it either. But it's just my view. It's football. We can all have different views. It's fine. I think they were all the hotly contested points. Kenny McLean got booked within 15 seconds, quite rightly too. It was a terrible tackle, and then had a bit of chat back at Mr. England. And you would say other games, if a referee was like, you know what the guidance is, you're off, could have happened. So there was a degree of common sense in the refereeing today, but again, that might not have been the case elsewhere across the country. So it is what it is. So yeah, all in all, 4 points from 2 games for Norwich City. They've got QPR in the cup in midweek, and then Millwall at Carrow Road, which I will hopefully be at. As I said, I'm not going to be at all the games. I'm not really sure what the percentages of games I'll be at, but I wanted to be at this one because it's an interesting managerial dynamic between the two clubs, and the two clubs are in interesting positions. Plus, I did miss last weekend, so I have now seen them live and in the flesh. Yeah, and hopefully I'll be at Millwall on Sunday, which will be good. And I'm pleasantly surprised. I thought today was a cracking performance. Lots to be positive about. It doesn't mean we have to get convinced about what this season will be, but it's quite clearly a better position than probably they were at the start of last season, because I don't look at that and think people didn't enjoy it. There are shortcomings, but it's fun and it's good energy and they're working hard. And I think everyone appreciated that. 2,000 Norwich fans certainly did in here earlier. Right, I better go and get a train. It's been a pleasure. It's always a pleasure. Have a lovely rest of your weekend. We are doing On the Ball podcast every fortnight. That's the plan at the moment, if people want to listen to it. So that is the plan. So we will be doing one of those on Monday. So have a listen to that on Monday night. Join us live at 8 p.m. I think as I'm here, I'll probably write something for The Athletic too. So give that a look as well. Right. Enjoy your weekend. I'll see you soon. Let's get rid of that. As good as it was. Good luck to everyone involved. Good luck to me for getting home. And cheerio. Goodbye. Ta-ta!